good movie.
You like when you're watching it as a kid during the Stampede scene, you're like, why do I feel like I want to die right now whenever the music's going? And then when you get older, you're like, oh, it's because Hans Zimmer did this soundtrack, and the other half of this soundtrack is Elton John. That's why. That's why this movie's so godlike. And then Matthew Broderick, a.k.a. Ferris Bueller, voices older Simba. Mufasa is voiced by Darth Vader. James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
You know who plays the bird Zazu?
Who?
Rowan Atkinson. Mr. Bean.
No way.
Yeah, really, really.
I didn't know that.
It's crazy,
You
man.
bet your Lion King trivia, like, down pat. If we ever have, like, a game where it's Lion King trivia, you're on my team.
Yo, Disney's seen it. Let's go.
Disney's
I'll money
seen
match you if Disney's seen it.
There's
go.
My other friend Tyler is in love with Disney as well. I think I would take him on my team too.
Oh man!
If we could have a team of 3 people, it'd be me and then you two. Where I don't really know anything, so I'll just like rest on your laurels.
I got you. No, but seriously, tweet at me with who you think, what you think is a better like B-tier '90s Disney film, Pocahontas or Goofy movie? Because I think it's close, man. Pocahontas wins on animation, and that's I think it.
Yeah, but it's like a story that's like classic. Avatar used it. I mean,
I feel like Avatar has more dances with. Anyways, we're gonna stop talking about Disney. We're talking about the magic that's about to happen. Winners finals at Shuffle 8.
How about let's say this: XYK and Hyper, they're Pocahontas, and Fizzle and Drephen are Lion King.
Yo, man, but I don't know.
I'm gonna throw that BM out there. Okay.
You can throw that out, but that's implying that Pocahontas beats the Lion King in anything, and it doesn't. Am I just a Pocahontas hater? I mean, I think it's still a, you know, I'd watch it, but like not more than twice. XYK and HyperFlame, I can watch them all day. I mean, the way that they've been playing, I think that their team synergy has just been something to marvel at. And while this red team has the advantage from individual skill, I think that it's the blue team's team synergy that may push them over the top.
Yeah. Oh wow, that was... I saw what he was trying to do. That was really smart. Protecting himself from the edge guard and then trying to fall on that platform.
The right idea, but slight mistiming on the execution.
Yeah, I think if he got his up B into the stage faster, he would have made it. But yeah, really good effort there. Smart play.
Drephen hanging onto the stock for dear life, and it's going to be his teammate, ironically enough, that's going to be taking it from him.
He's like, Fizzle, if anybody's going to kill you, Drephen, I am.
When your individual skill is too strong,
but
you won't even allow your
like you were
opponents to
talking
take
about, the follow-ups from XYK and Hyper have all been off aerials. And there haven't been a lot of grabs here from Fizzle or Drephen. Oh, wow. Well, that's kind of just like a nice placement there.
They might not be getting the grabs on the characters, but getting the grab on the stage more than enough. But right there, that grab, ill-timed. And that's another potential issue. Because they're so grab-oriented with their punish game. Because XYK has that burst movement with that long wave dash, he can come in, get the Shoryu, and instead find the punishment on the ones who are hoping to get the initial punish.
And he's precise enough that he's keeping his partner safe. And it was clever what Fizzle tried to do with the jabs, the jabs and the grab, whatever, to keep XYK off, but it just wasn't enough. And XYK got in there for the Shoryuken. Individually, I feel like both of these players, they might be, both the blue team players might be a touch outclassed. But this team synergy, this team synergy, nice back air there from Drephen.
Finds them to compete.
Fizzle not falling into that roll. That trap from XYK. I like it. Okay, XYK getting back safely. Hyper giving him good assistance there. But yeah, it's beautiful synergy from XYK and Hyper. And
that's what they need to keep doing. They can't play the one-on-one game. I don't like their chances on the one-on-one game. But on this team game that they're playing, keep it up.
Yeah, and you saw XYK trying again to go over. Ooh, nice up smash there from Hyper, taking off Fizzle's second stock. Wow,
beautiful.
One stock lead here.
Ever since that up smash, I feel like XYK did a good job. Even though he didn't throw out too many hits, he limited options as far as potential places to go. And what did Hyper do? He placed himself in those areas, filling those gaps perfectly and getting those kills when he needed to. A slight stock lead, but the percentage, it's such a looming factor for this blue team. It's what's keeping them from potentially getting this win, especially as the share stock is forced out from the blue team.
Yeah, Drephen, this last stock, Drephen did a really nice job of kind of just racking up the percentage on XYK without taking anything back, and that gave him this equalizer here. But they still have a lead in blue team's favor. I think if they can get a fast kill on anybody here, that might be the end of it.
Maybe.
But they're holding on the stocks.
Beautiful fair, and that's going to be Drephen gone now. Fizzle, 2v1. He's learned so much from the Masters. Let's see what Hanky taught him.
Oh, wow. Another nice forward there. the scuttle. Yeah.
That's it.
Nice jab down smash there from XYK. My prediction, wrong.
It was very close, though.
Yeah.
It was so very close.
And this is kind of the winners finals that we could have expected to see. We're looking at just like straight up rankings right off the bat. And okay.
1, go.
Yeah. This is a good counter pick, but I know XYK is a big fan of this stage as well. And I have no clue about Hyper, but I could see Lucas being good on this stage as well. So it's not really that hard of a counter pick, as in it's a disadvantage for the other team, more that it's good for Sheik and Peach.
Definitely.
Oh.
But if XYK's platform movement is as crisp as we've been seeing it this entire morning, I give this red team something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'll also keep in mind that this does have a higher ceiling, and if I remember correctly, we did see a lot of KOs from the blue team off of that, off of the top.
Yeah. There, I think Drephen could have died on another stage with a shorter ceiling.
Exactly. And contrast that to this red team. A lot of their KOs, they've been going for all these horizontal-based KOs.
Yeah.
So, you know,
back airs, forward airs.
Speaking of bears,
Yep.
Drephen, again, from that ledge, that bear. But the nair from Hanky, not Hanky, sorry. From Fizzle nearly seals his fate.
Yeah. Hyper just one hit away from death. Yep. Nice and safe from Drephen. Doesn't get hit by XYK. We'll see if he can get this edge guard here.
Oh, and XYK, scary position.
Wow.
Great bear to go and challenge.
Yeah,
Stuff out
Hyper
that missile.
did what he could to... Nice shield pressure there from Hyper. But yeah, Hyper did a great job of putting the pressure onto Drephen. Fizzle had to come over, and it just creates so much chaos over there that Drephen couldn't get like a really easy edge guard on the XYK, which in a singles match probably would have been the definite.
Wow, huge stock from XYK. That slippery movement is allowing him to sneak in and get these sweet spot Shoryus.
Okay, we'll see if... Nice forward air there. Using the invincibility from the ledge to punish Drephen's kind of unsafe edge guard.
And both of these blue team members have done a good job of holding up that stock.
Yeah.
Finally, HyperFlame goes down. But the amount of extra credit that I think that this blue team can net here before XYK loses his stock is going to be so pivotal in determining who's going to win this match. For red team, this is all about control more than anything else. They need to minimize these threats. They're doing a great job stuffing out Hyper here while simultaneously avoiding that misfire. And then actually Hyper, scary position. Getting hit by the bear from Drephen. And
Yeah,
that's
gonna
a
be the
stock.
With XYK just floating in the air because Fizzles just keep popping him up.
And actually, maybe XYK even being a stock tech there might have been a liability because he continuously was forced away. He had to spend more time recovering than he could actually have his feet on the stage, ready to try and assist with clearing the landing zone.
Yeah.
And again, Hyper, he's actually going to be losing the stock here. What is going on? This is looking really close, even promising for this blue team. But this red team has just turned it around, playing this control-oriented style.
Yeah. And really taking advantage of those 1v2 situations that the long recovery times that you talked about earlier have afforded them. And it's just really rough when it takes you twice as long to get back to the stage.
Whoa!
Beautiful up smash there from Hyper. Close game. XYK still very high percentage, so he's going to have to watch out there. Hyper's going to be doing the brunt work here from blue team. Oh,
Ooh.
does miss the empowered up smash.
Nearly gets this. I mean, that would have been pretty cheeky.
Yeah.
If he could get another one, that would have been pretty cheeky. XYK at a corner, and HyperFlame off stage. Scary spot. Barely making it back on stage. Very fortunate
XYK
XYK
doing a
took
nice
minimal
job
damage.
of dealing with Drephen there, when normally Drephen had been taking it to him. Down smash there from Fizzle. This is a really close match here.
They brought it back.
Fizzle's the only one that's really not in the position to get KO'd at any moment. Yeah, forward air there from Drephen.
I mean, how possible is this?
XYK has a really good chance. I mean, a fast nair. Oh, it gets off.
Wow, sneaky, and now truth be told, I wish he would challenge maybe a bit more on Fizzle there.
Okay.
But either way, we're going to game number 3.
Yeah. Close games. And that was a smart counter pick. There were several times where they did not die off the top of the stage because of the high ceiling. I think they're going to ban small ceilings. If I were them, that's probably what I'd do.
Wario's getting out of the picture as well.
Yeah. Going to Final Destination. I'm very interested to see what they're going to choose here. They did hover over Final Destination, and I think that might force Fizzle to go somebody other than Peach.
That's the other X factor here is the depth of Fizzle's character variety.
Yeah.
How much he can bring, the little subtle changes he can put on for this team composition might be enough to kind of fix some of the issues that we've seen throughout the set.
Yeah, and they can still use like the knowledge that they've learned from facing HyperFlame and XYK, but it's a completely new setup from Drephen and Fizzle if they were to change. So I think it's something that they're thinking about always. But yeah, the Sheik Peach works out well, and the Luigi Lucas is just a really kind of like bursty and dynamic combo.
Yeah, because it does seem like they just come from one side of the stage all the way to the other, and all of a sudden we see like a stock change of 2.
Yeah, on stage extremely quick, off stage slow, and that's the pros and cons there.
But again, with such an offense-driven team, with such punish-oriented players like HyperFlame and XYK, it makes sense. It suits their playstyle. They're running this very tempo-oriented sort of play. But whoa, speaking of something that maybe throw a wrench in some of that tempo, that Ganondorf.
I think they're working on earlier kills.
And if nothing else, Ganon hits like a tank. Gonna be putting on a lot of damage, and it's not gonna take all that many hits really to get you off stage either.
Yeah, and the Sheik does a nice job of protecting you where you're weak.
As we can see, the bear from Ganondorf. I mean, such a low percent, and HyperFlame already.
Mistiming that slightly, the edge guard there from Fizzle, but doesn't really get punished too much for it. Then I say that, and he gets almost killed.
Now, while I think Ganon might make it a bit easier for them to execute their game plan of kind of forcing HyperFlame and XYK off stage consistently, the one issue is because Ganon is so large, that makes him even more of a target, even more vulnerable to the punish game from these two players. But so far, all the punishment being dealt out.
2 quick stocks there.
Yeah.
Nice work. Bringing it into a very small lead for this red team. I really like that down throw into the needles from Drephen. Ganon down throw needles from Drephen. Beautiful work. Hyper just getting in there and disrupting with Nair and then some down B. Oh, wow.
And the hug.
Unfortunate.
But HyperFlame doing a good job again, ensuring that his teammate can make it back onto the stage.
Yeah. But Fizzle doing a really nice job of like taking advantage from that team attack from Hyper onto XYK. Hyper has some good accuracy with that back air, even if he doesn't want it.
Can we touch on how Drephen finally lost his stock? 210%.
I thought he was dead already.
He maintained that stock for nearly 2 minutes. In a team's game, that's absolutely unheard of.
Yeah. And then putting pressure on XYK. Okay. Oh, wow. There's the stock.
Now, some 2 quick stocks actually from Drephen. How does it happen that he loses his first stock in about a minute 30 and his next stock is about 20 seconds?
XYK is pretty solid at edge guarding, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now what we're going to need to see from this blue team is taking out this Ganon.
And Hyper actually hyping up the crowd there with those up smashes. Every time he throws one up, we get a little jump from the people watching. So it's fun to see.
Definitely the shock to your system.
Nice. Good assistance there from Drephen. Wasn't necessary, but it's sure a big help to have the pressure there. And Ganon, huge stock tank here. And just using the fair to keep Hyper away from him. Knocking him in, Drephen. Oh, that's going to kill him.
Nowhere to go, XYK.
Able to throw that down air. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you were XYK and Hyper, what would your game plan be here?
A big part, I think, is it's gonna sound weird, but I like the idea of tossing aside Drephen more than anything else, right? Try to narrow his range more than anything else.
Yeah, and then focusing on the Ganon.
Focus on demolishing Ganon more than for all that it's worth, right? Because you have such a big body, definitely a potential to have like a really good string, and being able to take him out relatively early, I think, is going to be really, really integral to coming back.
Messed up the aim there from the range on Hyper's up B. Drephen doing a pretty solid job of edge guarding XYK, but Hyper able to come in and disrupt that. All even now, just really high percentage there from XYK, but a fast gimp on anybody can make this an even game.
And I'm definitely looking for it on Ganon. Again, not the best recovery in the world.
And pretty predictable compared to that of Sheik, which is also not that large. Okay.
Wizard's Foot, and that's big. Down throw into fair. Those grab follows that we were talking about before have been so big in this game. And I think it's what's going to let this red team take game number 3.
Ooh.
Unless, whoa. Wait a minute.
Edge guard situation from Fizzle.
Wait a minute. Did I call it too soon?
We'll see. There from Hyper. Oh, man. However, Ganon still has a pretty good amount of percent to go before he can actually...
B-Man!
Never mind!
Did I call it too soon?
Oh, JV. The caster's curse.
Dude, the commentator, I've never commentator's cursed someone so hard.
Yeah, and the thing is, Fizzle had been going for those forward airs, and the first one Drephen shielded. But the second one, he wasn't able to get back on stage fast enough and wasn't able to shield it. And that's what caused him to get hit by that forward air from Fizzle.
One error.
Yeah.
It changed everything.
Yeah, and that's Smash. It's like a game of fractions of a second. And now we're 2-1 in favor of XYK and HyperFlame, and it's up to Fizzle and Drephen to pull it out here.
And you mentioned that Frizzle and Drephen were the favorites going into this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like we said, they have good team synergy, and their individual skill is very, very, very solid as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But XYK is like right at the top here in Columbus, so it's not like he's far off at all. And Hyper just doing a fantastic job in all these matches of creating pressure, racking up damage, and then getting super nice up smash kills with Lucas. I mean, he's had 2 double up smash kills, and several times he's just like comboed into up smash and like gotten a quick kill.
His bear into another bear, something like that.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's so talented, I think, at getting those Walmart specials, the buy one stock, get one free. Those 2-for-1s are definitely helping out this blue team.
Yeah, and they weren't able to take advantage too much of like the recovery times on that stage just because of how it happened. So now we're going into Battlefield.
Perfect counter pick, in my opinion. Especially if your objectives revolve around forcing opponents off stage. This is exactly where the stage that you're going to be looking for.
Yeah. So starting off with just some skirmishing here. Drephen with a nice chain of Hyper across the stage, but isn't able to get him off stage yet. Good back air there from Drephen. Ooh.
Very nearly a stock, but Drephen having a hard time dealing with this Luigi's recovery.
Yeah, Drephen really creating a lot of pressure, forcing Hyper to come over and create assistance, allowing Fizzle to plan something, whatever it is.
But this is the one issue with this counter pick. Is again, XYK so good with his platform movement.
Yeah.
The way he's able to maneuver around this stage might prove very devastating for this team. But right there, I don't know what's going on with XYK. It felt like Hyper was hanging on to Drephen, hoping that he'd come up and get the Shoryu, and instead it results in a stock loss for the blue team instead of red.
Yeah. And another thing that I'd like to talk about is the platform positioning for Lucas. That they are in perfect range positions for his up smash, and that's been like surprisingly a #1 killer of his. I mean, I guess not surprisingly, but it's like kind of a slower move, and being able to just like have that whole range going onto those platforms is devastating. So I expect us to see more kills coming out from that.
Definitely a scary zone to consider. And what else is scary is XYK. He was in the corner, boxed between both of the red team players, but HyperFlame, I think he's using that PK freeze just to disrupt enough so XYK can come back.
Yeah. And talking about disruption, Fizzle doing a nice job with that nair, disrupting the combo, and
taking a stock, maybe taking another one as well.
Nice edge guard there from Hyper, reading where he's gonna go, and Drephen not able to change his positioning fast enough.
And I feel that edge guard was a really key moment in this game, not only because it took a stock, but it also saved XYK from losing one.
I like that throw from Fizzle, blocking the neutral B from Luigi. Oh man.
Oh, wow. Great conversion from Hyper.
Yeah, that back air is super strong. These back airs from all these people are great kill moves.
Let's go shift the perspective for a second over to Drephen. Got Hyper on that top platform, that down throw into up smash. Gonna be bringing this stock favor right back in the way of red. But XYK hoping to end things, gets a great bear, and that's enough. This game is just so volatile.
Yeah.
You know, 1 second I look and I'm like, okay, red is just comfortable, and then XYK, you know, and HyperFlame, because they're such offense-oriented players, such punish-oriented players, as we can see, they're so good at just ending these stocks so decisively and putting the favor right back in their court.
And Drephen did what he could to try to interrupt that, but it just wasn't fast enough, even with Sheik's speed and dash attack. Oh, wow. Almost threw him into that, but good DI there from Hyper, getting just over his head. And XYK
getting
not hitting him with that up smash.
Yeah. XYK falling victim to one of those great throw combos that you touched on before from the red team. Now we're at final stocks.
XYK keeping Drephen away. Man, this is extremely close. I think we're bound to see both of these teams, no matter what happens, back in the grand finals, though. Wow, not able to get any help from XYK there.
Now,
so, we may say it too soon, but, yep, okay,
wow,
XYK.
I was about to say another 2v1. HyperFlame was able to win one of them. Can XYK win the other?
Okay, so XYK just being smart, forcing Fizzle to approach.
He does have the percent lead, doesn't need to do much, but the stitch factor, that's something that I think could change a lot, which is why I think he might need a, yeah, exactly, perfect.
Okay.
The reason why I loved his positioning there was because he basically suffocated all the space away. He moved towards center, but put himself in a place where I think he could still wave dash and cover pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. And his move